All right, so welcome to this amazing session we're going to have. We're going to be talking about the number one shift you can make so you can start attracting more patients, more clients, which is what we all want, right? As entrepreneurs, as physician entrepreneurs. So if you're here live, say hi in the chat. I'm going to circle back to the chat. If you have questions, you can post them as well. I will circle back. If you're watching the replay, I will circle back too. So just say hashtag replay. Okay. If we have not met before, because I know we have a lot of new docs in the group, my name is Dr. Una. I am the founder of EntreMD. I love physicians. I believe this is the best of times for physicians. I help physicians build profitable businesses so they can live life and they can practice medicine on their terms. So I do that in this group. I do that through the EntreMD podcast. I do that through the EntreMD Method book, and then ultimately the EntreMD Business School. So that's what I do. I have a blast doing it. I've never worked a day at EntreMD because I'm born to do this stuff. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the number one thing to do. And I think we should start off with a myth. You let me know in the comments if you have believed this myth. And that myth is, if I do good work, if my service is good, if my product is good, then my business will thrive, right? People will be drawn to it. People will sign up for what I do. People buy my products. People will join my private practice if my service, my product is good. Okay, so let me know in the chat. Just think about it for a second. Let me know in the chat if that is something you subconsciously believe. If I do good work, everything else will follow, right? I believe that philosophy when I started my first business, which was my private practice. And the thought process was, I'm a good doctor. I have a great bedside manner. I have the expertise. I practice evidence-based medicine. The people who've worked with me before, they love me, love me. And so I'm just going to start my practice. And because of that, my practice will fill up, right? So I'm like, hang the shingle and they will come. And I talk about it a lot because I hung the shingle and they did not come, right? There are things that I had to do to attract them. And I think it was Dr. Karen Kaufman, may have been a live session on EntreMD Business School, or maybe during EntreMD Live. She said something so profound. She said, I found out that marketing is part of the job, right? Because it's almost like my job is to take care of people. My job is to help people. And there's also this side thing I have to do, this marketing additional thing. But she said it in such a beautiful way. It is part of my job. She's in private practice. She's an allergist, right? It is part of my job. And that might be something you want to type in the chat. Marketing is part of my job. As an entrepreneur, it is part of my job. It's not a side thing. It's not an annoying thing. It's not a by the way thing. It is the thing. It is part of the thing. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I want to read something out of the EntreMD Method book. Again, this is in the EntreMD world, this is our $16 MBA. That's what we call it, $16 MBA. And there's a concept here I want us to get. So lean in. And whether you're a private practice, you're a coach, you have a service-based business, you have a product-based business, you're working on your brand, it doesn't matter what your business is, right? This applies, okay? So if you already have the book, I'm pulling this from page 97. And this is what the subtitle is. It says, rid yourself of the idea that your product or service will sell itself. This right here, if you can make this shift, right, it changes everything. Rid yourself of the idea that your product or service will sell itself, okay? So I go on to say, no matter the evidence, some doctors have trouble shaking the idea that an excellent product or service should be enough by itself to be successful. They think that if you put all your efforts into building it, people will see it and they will find you. Okay, so that's that myth. It's a myth. It's not true. It's an inaccurate statement. Okay. In movie land, when you build it, they will come, okay? But we don't live in the movies, we live in the real world, okay? But in real life, they don't. The saying of podcaster and entrepreneur John Lee Dumas is more accurate. So this is from his book, The Common Path to Uncommon Success. Really good book. You should get it if you haven't read it before. It says, if you build it, they will not care until you make them aware. I thought that was a powerful quote, like it's stuck in my brain since then. If you build it, so that's your private practice, your coaching practice, your brand, your social media platforms, your podcast, your YouTube channel, all of that stuff. If you build it, they will not care until you make them aware. Okay. So again, this is one of those typeable moments. I would say in the chat, type it there. My job is to make people care, make people aware of what I do. My job is to make people aware of what I do. Okay. So I'm going to say that quote again because it's so simple, but it's so profound. If you build it, they will not care until you make them aware. Okay. So part of my job is to build the service, build the product. The other part of my job is to make people aware. It is part of my job. All right. Okay. Now, many new entrepreneurs will spend 90 to 100% of their time building their product or service, fiddling with the new website, and coming up with the perfect colors for their logo. Seasoned entrepreneurs realize that the split between developing your product or service and promoting it has to be much closer to a 50-50 time investment. So think about it. I need to just think about this concept, spending the same amount of time marketing your product or service as you do creating it. Think about the time you think of putting your service together, your offerings together, mapping out the customer journey, doing all of that, right? But it is a disservice to do that if you're not going to also spend a close amount of time promoting it, making people aware, right? Because otherwise they don't care, according to John Lee Dumas. Okay, so you need to spend at least as much time telling people about your solution as you do developing it. Don't spend all your time building the perfect baseball diamond in a cornfield, or in our case, building some beautiful product or service that will serve people, but then leave it hidden on a website nobody visits, right? Leaving it on our website nobody visits. As doctors, we want our product or service to be perfect first. But just like the first iPhone, we need to shoot for excellence, then release it and tell as many people as we can. So think about Apple, right? Apple, they hit $1 trillion, right? And that size of a business. They have the dollars to spend on research and development. They have the dollars to spend tweaking their products and making it better, but they don't wait. They give you a version, the best version they can at the time, which is excellence, right? What is the best service, the best product I can give my people at this time? Great. Then go and promote and promote and promote and promote, right? We don't wait for perfection. We practice excellence, okay? Excellence is doing the best with what you have at the time and then promoting the life out of it, okay? All right, I mentioned John Lee Dumas above, and he's an instructive example. He wrote a terrific book called The Common Path to Uncommon Success. To promote that book, so now listen to this, okay? To promote that book, he did 345 interviews in less than 3 months. Now, John Lee Dumas is as hardcore as it gets. So am I telling you to do 345 interviews? No, but I'm trying to make a point here, okay? So he wrote the book. He did 345 podcast interviews in less than 3 months. That's over 100 a month, okay? John also reached out to 3,010 individuals. Think about 3,000, think about the number. 3,000 individuals to ask for their support on his launch. So 345 interviews, 3,010 individuals to ask for their support. He no doubt spent a lot of time making his book excellent, but he did not assume that meant people would find it. He made as many people aware as possible. Okay. Now, the magnitude of his effort is impressive, but I want to show you something else that's really impressive. What makes this even more fascinating is the fact that he has a podcast with over 1 million downloads a month. So this is somebody who is running a podcast, has over 1 million downloads a month, and is still so aware of how much he needs to make people aware that he did 345 podcast interviews and talked to 3,010 people to tell them, promote my book. Promote my book. 1 million, you know what million? I mean, like, I've been podcasting for 2.5 years, and I think we're at 285,000 downloads, and it's unbelievably amazing. But even with all that, he was like, I have to do the work to make people aware. Okay. All right. So let's go back to what we're reading. He could have easily made the assumption that he didn't need to do any promotion other than mentioning his book on his podcast. But he knew it would take more than that. No wonder he ended up with a very successful book launch and 533 reviews on Amazon. Another great example is Michelle Obama, one of the most famous women in America. As a former first lady, if anyone could say, I'll write a good book and people will find it, it's her. But she supported the launch of her book with a national book tour to 33 cities. Yes, it probably would have been a bestseller regardless, but it's now one of the best-selling memoirs of all time. It sold more than 2 million copies in 15 days. So if a first lady had to do a 33-city tour to promote her book, like figured I have to make people aware, then think about our businesses, right? We have work to do here, okay? You have to make people aware if you want extraordinary results. There's a catch to all of this, however. As you put yourself outside your comfort zone, you may discover that you have some skill gaps that you need to close, okay? And that's the end of the chapter. So I was reading out of the EntreMD Method book. That was page 97, chapter, part 3. Yeah, part 3, chapter, what chapter are you? Chapter 6, okay? So what is my job? Create a great product, create a great service, and then go and make people aware. That's nobody's responsibility. You can't wish it away. You can't lean on the greatness of your product as a way to escape it. It is part of the job. Okay. I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't want to do marketing. They're so interwoven, you can't really separate them. Right? You really can't. And if you look at the great companies, I mean, Amazon is still marketing. Apple is still marketing. Like, these companies are still marketing. We're not as big as they are, right? We need to market. If we build it, they will not care unless we make them aware. Okay. So I came up with this thought. And the thought is this: if your commitment to putting yourself out there will match your commitment to helping people with your product and service, your business will explode. Right? Now, I don't have to ask about your commitment to helping people because you're a physician. You're watching your physician, right? And physicians, if there's anything, we want to help people. We want to serve people. We want to make the world a better place. We want to help people have better experiences. We love helping people, right? Now, if we can match that commitment to helping people, match that so that our commitment to putting ourselves out there will be on the same level. As physicians, our businesses will just go like explode. And let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. What do you think will happen to your business if you are as committed to putting yourself out there as you are to helping people? What do you think would happen to your business? What do you think will happen to the number of people you can help? What do you think will happen to your revenue? What do you think will happen to your positioning in the marketplace? What do you think will happen to your ability to attract a winning team, an A team? What do you think will happen? Post in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Because this is a commitment we need to make. It changes everything. It changes everything. And when I think about it and I think about what we can create together, I am beyond excited. excited. Yeah. Dr. Ryan just puts the emojis like, rocket ship, and we're going to take off. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. All right. So I have a treat coming for you guys. I'm not going to spill all the beans, but it's coming, right? One of the best ways to put yourself out there is to start embracing showing up on video, like I'm showing up now, right? Is to embrace that. Why is that? Well, speaking is the fastest way to grow any business. Really, it is. Showing up, speaking, and all of that. And it used to be speaking could only happen in the context of being on a stage somewhere, and all of that. And that is still valid and really valuable. But we live in the social media era. We live in the internet era where we can build our own platforms. We can speak as many times as we want from the comfort of our homes, in our PJs. Nobody will know, right? We just have a nice, top on, but it could be PJs. But we have this ability to show up because the person who shows up wins. Okay. In fact, this concept of showing up on video or showing up live and all of those things is so powerful that Instagram almost doesn't know what to do with itself, right? Instagram all these years has been a picture platform, right? And now they've decided we are a video platform, right? Because they're doing the pictures, TikTok is doing the video, YouTube is doing the video, and video is just like exploding, right? And so we're going to start embracing that as a community. As a community of entrepreneurs, we're going to start putting ourselves in that way. And that may make you feel a little nervous. That may make you feel like, I don't know if I want to do that. And, so you may be saying, my face is not for video and all of that. So what I want you to do is I want you to post in the chat, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, I want you to post in the chat your challenges around showing up live on video, because I am going to work with you on this. I'm going to coach you guys through this. I'm going to produce content based on this. But I want physicians to be able to own their voices, own their expertise, position themselves as the experts, show up as the leaders in the healthcare space, inside and outside the exam room, end this whole misinformation era, reach as many clients as you want, leveraging the power of video. Because remember, again, if you build it, they will not care until you make them aware. And this is one of the most amazing ways to make people aware. So if there are any challenges, maybe it's the tech, maybe what do I do with the looks? Maybe, what if I, forget my lines, right? What if I run out of content? I don't know what it is, right? Whatever it is, if you put it in the comments, I will help you solve it. That's my commitment. If you read my emails, I ended this way. I'm 1,000% committed to your success, right? So post it there. If you post it, I will respond to it. I will create content for it. I will create a whole workshop for it, whatever. But it is time for us to start owning our voices, exploding our businesses, doing all of those things, okay? In the EntreMD world, you do know that we have a vision 2025, okay? And that vision, part of it is that doctors will be the leaders in healthcare, inside and outside the exam room, right? We're just the leaders, period. Now, if we're going to be leaders, means we're going to be thought leaders, and that means we lead with our thoughts. So our thoughts need to be out there. Okay, so we're going to own this space. Video is going to be the way we're going to do it because that's what the world wants. We're going to dominate it, and nothing's going to stop us. Okay, so whether it's a brand, whether you're a coach, whether you have a platform like a podcast or YouTube channel, whether you own a private practice, whether you're just, working on your brand before you figure out what else you want to do, whether it's a product, it does not matter. We are going to make them aware. Okay, so if you're committed to that, I want you to type in the chat, I am all in. We are going to grow our businesses, explode our businesses. We're going to do it by making people aware. The fastest way to make people aware is by speaking, leveraging a platform, which is video, and we're all going to do it, okay? You may be thinking, oh, this was so much fun till Dr. Una started talking about video, but let me tell you something. Whatever you're going to need to do to show up and put your thoughts out there is going to be so much easier than anything you've had to do to become a physician. Okay, so you got this. We're going to do it in community. It's going to be absolutely fine. I cannot wait to do this with you. I cannot wait to celebrate it with you. Okay, so I'm committed to you. Your commitment is to be all in and to let me know in the comments what your challenge is, and I will help you fix it. Okay. So let me know in the comments. I'll come hang out with you guys in the comments in a little bit, and we will take it from there. So thank you for coming on this live. Thank you for your commitment. Don't forget to get the book if you haven't gotten it yet. If you haven't left us a review, come on, leave us a review, okay? 5 stars, my favorite, but leave an honest review, okay? And I'll see you guys in the comments, and I cannot wait to support you on this adventure.